Shamanism Part 2. Although Euro-American cultures don't support the classical role of a shaman, there is a modern effort to reintroduce shamanic practices to the West. Known as neo-shamanism, this spiritual movement adapts the methods of the shamanic trance journey to the needs of modern society. Like traditional shamanism, neo-shamanism is not a religion, but a set of practices and techniques used within existing belief systems. Neo-shamanism focuses on spiritual and psychological healing, and is finding acceptance within alternative belief systems, but also among some Christian and other mainstream religious groups, as well as in certain branches of psychotherapy. Unfortunately, the term shamanism has been misused in popular culture for many years. The entertainment industry has used medicine men and shaman interchangeably, and usually inaccurately, to describe holy men and women of Native America. The public began to assume that shaman was a Native American word, and that shamanism was a universal Indian religion, but there is no universal Indian religion. There are hundreds of Indian nations in North America, each with its own culture, language, and spiritual belief system. Many of these nations are very different from one another in their religious traditions, and none of them describe their beliefs as shamanism. Even from a scholarly standpoint, few native systems can be accurately described as shamanism. The ecstatic trance journey is simply not a major part of most North American Indian cultures. Commercialized pseudo-Indian groups that sprang up in the late 1970s reinforced this confusion. Focused mainly on New Age alternative healing methods and environmental awareness, these groups misrepresent themselves as genuine teachers of Indian traditions. Exploiting the stereotype of Native Americans as ecological warriors and spiritual healers, they commonly charge high fees for teachings and ceremonies, a practice particularly offensive to traditional Native Americans. Although the teachings of these movements may be valid in their own right, they are neither traditional nor typical of Indian beliefs, nor are they shamanic, as they rarely, if ever, stress the ecstatic trance journey as a central practice. Yet the movement continues to misrepresent itself as both Indian and shamanism. As a result, many Native Americans see the use of the word shamanism as the height of an offensive stereotype and commercial exploitation of their people's beliefs. Many neo-shamanists and scholars are sensitive to this issue, and strive to educate the public about exploitation of indigenous cultures, as well as correcting common misconceptions about the words shaman and shamanism. A shaman is a specialist and master of the ecstatic trance journey, not a synonym for tribal healer, holy person, or medicine man. Shamanism is the practice of ecstatic trance journey, and the typical beliefs and techniques that arise from and support it. Shamanism is not a catch-all term for indigenous religion, earth-based religions, spiritual healing, or beliefs in totems, animal guardians, or nature spirits. Both well-meaning and fraudulent teachers, books, periodicals, and web pages promote these misconceptions about shamanism. They need to be corrected both for the preservation of traditional Native American cultures and for the advancement of spiritual learning in the West.